Um, Number five, shall we?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. At five, I've gone for Pat Onstad. So I think, oh, we matched again?
Go on.
Yeah. So Pat Onstad, honestly, in terms of just looking at if I went season by season, like if I just matched everybody to the same number of seasons included on my list, Pat Onstad would I almost feel like be in the argument for number one. He was so good when he was playing, but and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe some of the data here is off. His first year in the league was at age 35. So he got a super late start in the league and really only had 8 seasons from at least what's on FBref, where he was playing significant minutes. There was a ninth season where he played like 3 games for DC, which I'm not even going to count. 7 of those 8 seasons, I had him in the top 10. And a majority of those seasons, he was very high in my top 10. He had, in the 7 seasons, I included him on the list. He had a supporter shield, 3 MLS Cups, and 2 goalkeeper of the years. Absolutely phenomenal during his surprisingly shorter time here than I expected. And the reason that I put him above Blake, because if we're talking seasons, they're pretty comparable in terms of amount of time played here, is because he has the team trophies where Blake doesn't, at least right now. Ansa has 1 supporter shield and 3 MLS Cups, whereas Blake had 1 supporter shield and had comparable goalkeeper of the year numbers, even though Blake has 1 extra. So I think Blake will pass him probably honestly by even the end of this season. I think Blake will be above him in my list. But considering how much silverware Pat Onstad has right now compared to Blake, I put him slightly above.
Okay. The the silverware, I factored it in, but it was tough for me to weigh a lot on that, right? You looked at back to back with Houston and the '03 San Jose team, plus a supporter shield with the '05 San Jose team. Again, I didn't watch then because I was 6 and 8, and I haven't gone back to rewatch. However, um, I know about the Brad Davises of the world. I know about that whole Houston team. And then you also had the San Jose team at the time was, I believe that was Landon Donovan. So a ton of good talent around him. It's not like he himself and him pulled that out on his own. However, I do factor it in because he only spent 7 years in MLS. This is one of the guys that I mentioned that Andre Blake has spent more time in here for. Um, 2 goalkeeper of the years, the first ever save of the year award. Cool. Also unrelated, the goalkeeper for the last non-MLS team to win U.S. Open Cup. He was a Rochester Rhinos goalkeeper in '99.
Oh wow.
Yeah, fun
Nice.
fact. Um, 243 games, middle of the pack in clean sheets, 21% save percentage on penalties, middle of the pack in saves and save percentage, 15th to 13th in all those categories. But what really set it apart for me, 2 goalkeeper of the year awards in 7 years, 2 second place finishes, a third place, and a fourth place. Oh, hold on. 2, 4, which means 6 of his 7 years, he was a top 5 goalkeeper. It hurt me to
It's
put him at.
unreal.
It hurt
It's
me to put him
unreal.
at
Yeah.
5. You know, it
Yeah.
it hurt me to like. What brought it down was the fact that he did have bang average numbers based on what I was looking at. But if we cut it to just the people who were in the honorable mention slash goalkeeper like top 10 list, I gotta think he's probably up there in top 4, top 3. So that's what got him up there. But for me, yeah, the bang average numbers in on paper is what brought him down. But
Yeah.
I'll let you run to. Oh, go ahead.
Imagine Pat Onstad had like a full I want to say a full career in MLS on par with like Joe Cannon, let's say. Like in terms of just number of seasons. I think he'd be in that conversation for number one, if not number one, like clear and outright. The fact that you just mentioned that 7 out of the 8 seasons he was a finalist for goalkeeper of the year, that's outrageous. That's insane.
Yeah, yeah, it's something that you probably won't ever see again. Now, again, what does that go into with? Was he involved in that just because he was on a bunch of teams that were winning? Right, with those numbers, that makes me think like, oh, he was a goalkeeper of the year finalist because his team won back to back MLS Cups, and he came from a team that won uh supporter shield or an open cup. Again, things I wasn't around for, things I'm just guessing. Our listeners can let us know otherwise.
Yep. Yep. Yep.